bringing children into this world is very, very cruel. We're not living in a world that makes it easy for people to love one another, for people to be mentally stable, for people to be happy. We live in a world where people are being forced to fight one another in order to survive. People are being forced to be selfish. People are being forced to worship the worst traits in humanity, because these traits are very necessary for our survival in this world. So you can't say that bringing a child into this world is a good thing. No, it is not a good thing. It's very, very evil. Especially if you know how cruel this world is. Because it's very similar to Squid Game. People are supposed to compete for money. They're not in this world to connect with one another more, to understand one another more. No, they are here to fight for their survival, to fight for the prize, for the big prize. And they can't do that if they are trying to connect with one another, if they're trying to understand one another. And the worst part is that that's not good for our mental health. It's not good for our mental health to disconnect with one another. We're supposed to be more connected than ever now, because everything that we need is here. We don't necessarily have to fight for food, because there is food everywhere. We don't necessarily need to fight for space, because there is land everywhere. We don't necessarily need to fight for survival, because everyone is actually surviving. But we want to be more powerful than other people. And because of that, we are competing. And in this game that we are playing, it is not easy to be selfless. We're supposed to betray one another. That's why people are traumatized. People don't even know how to be in relationships anymore, because they are realizing that a person can really break your heart. A person that you truly trust can break your heart, because they're trying to survive. If you understand survival, you understand why people break each other's hearts. Everyone is just trying to survive. And the people that are at the top are the ones that are enjoying. The people that are playing the game are not really enjoying. They believe that they will enjoy once they win the prize, the big prize. By the time they win the big prize, they have done a lot of horrible things that it will be very hard for them to enjoy their lives after that. This world is so cruel that no matter what you have, you won't really be happy. You won't really be fulfilled. What humans really want is to connect with one another. What humans really want is to feel accepted, is to feel like they belong somewhere. And that is what we should have been working on. We should have been trying to understand people. We should have been trying to accept people for who they are. We should have been trying to make people feel like they belong. But that's not what we're doing. We're focused on survival. And because of that, we are fighting. Men and women don't even know how to be in relationships anymore. There are lots of young men who are single because they feel like women are toxic. There are lots of women who are single because they feel like, men don't have money. And we cannot solve that if we keep on competing. That's not what's going to make us happy. It is very rare to find a person that is actually happy in this society that we've created. Most people are really, really sad. Most people really feel alone. And they should feel alone because they are alone. We lie to people and say, oh, you're not alone, you're not alone. No, everyone is alone in this society. If you want to see that you are alone, lose everything that you have. You'll see that you are alone. You see that no one is coming to save you. This is something that's very important to understand. So when you bring a child into this world knowing that they will have to suffer a lot in order to survive, they have to compete with other humans in order to survive, you are being cruel. Because you know. It's not like you don't know how this world is. I can understand if you are not, conscious enough to understand what is really happening in this world. But I think most people are now conscious enough to understand what's really happening in this world. When I see kids competing, I don't feel right. Because I know that instead of trying to understand one another, they are actually creating, a separation between them. Because when you are competing with another person, you're not going to be trying to understand them or be trying to love them. No, you are focusing on winning. How do I win? How do I become the best student? These children are not being taught to help one another. They're being taught, don't let anyone copy your work. Don't borrow anyone your pen. Don't help anyone. You know what I mean? So we grow up very selfish because we were taught from a very young age to be selfish. That is why we are unable to help one another now. There are a lot of people who need help that we cannot help because we didn't grow up helping one another. It doesn't feel right to help another person. You feel like you have lost something when you help another person. This is the kind of world that people are bringing children in, thinking that they are doing the right thing. No, it is cruel to bring a child into a world like this. You are not giving your child life. I mean, you can say you are giving your child life by bringing them here, but really, it is more accurate to say that you are burdening your child with existence. Because existence is a burden. There are a lot of things that people are expected to do in order to exist here. And even when they realize that, man, this game is sick, we do not want to hear them out. We don't want them to speak. We don't want them to be negative. The truth is negative. Speaking the truth is negative. We don't want to hear someone saying, man, this world ain't it. Something is wrong here. No. We want people to keep on saying that life is wonderful. Let's keep on working hard. Never stop studying. Never stop getting new qualifications. Never stop dreaming big. What's really important is connection. We're unhappy because we're not connecting. We're unhappy because we are separated. We're more separated than ever. There was a time when humans were able to connect with one another because even though they were competing, they weren't really competing the way that they're competing now. They weren't people who were having an unfair advantage over other people. Everyone was just the same. You would know that, okay, if I win today, tomorrow someone else might win, because they didn't have resources that made them win all the time. So society was healthy, and people were able to have healthy relationships with one another. People weren't jealous of one another. People didn't see this life as a burden, unless they were truly misunderstood. But things weren't how they are today. Now people can see that something is wrong. Now people can see that they don't really want to be part of this game anymore. Now they can see that it's a sick game that they are being forced to play. And they are being forced to play, because even when they become conscious enough to realize that, okay, this is really a sick game, I don't want to play this game anymore, we want to act like they're sick. A person cannot say, I'm leaving this game, even when they are conscious enough to realize that it's a sick game. The problem is that the majority of people are not conscious enough to realize that this is a sick game. So the ones that become conscious enough to realize that it's a sick game have to suffer with the people that are not conscious enough to realize that this is a sick game, because they are forced to play. Just like in Squid Game, people weren't allowed to quit until half of them decided to quit. But the truth is, people are not going to quit this game. People are going to keep on doing what they're doing in order to survive. They're going to keep on competing. We're going to keep on worshipping humanity's worst trait. Women are going to keep on saying, I want a man that is making a lot of money. They're not going to give a damn, how the man is making money. As long as he's making money, they're good. We're going to keep on wanting to get jobs that are paying us the most money. We're not going to give a damn if the job that we have is not actually a good job. When we're not going to care if we're not working for a company that's making society better. We're not going to care if we're working for a company that is destroying the environment. No. If we're making money, we're cool, because we want power. So we can't change. It is impossible for humanity to change. That is why it really does not make sense to burden someone with existence, because they will have to play this game as if they consented to it. Because we want to act like people chose to be here. We treat people as if they chose to be here. As if we ask them, yo, do you want to go to Earth and, play the silly games that humans are playing there? And they said yes. No, nobody agreed to this. People are here because they were brought here without their consent. So we mustn't be treating people like they consented to this. No one consented to this. So if a person say, this is really, really sick, we must understand that to them, this is a really sick game. We must respect people's opinions, you see, because we are not experiencing life from their perspective. So we must understand that. We must understand that we are not seeing things the way that they see them. And that's okay. We shouldn't all see things the same way. But now, we are being conditioned to see things the same way. The people that are controlling everything, the people that are making us play these games that we're playing, don't really care about the truth. They don't really care if there's a person who's speaking the truth. No, what they care about is what the majority of people think. And they want the majority of people to think the same way. And on top of everything, they want the majority of people to comply. If the majority of people stopped complying, they will find new ways to make them comply. They don't want people to be so woke that they realize that no, actually, we're playing a very stupid game here. This is not taking us anywhere as a collective. No, they don't care about that. So we must realize that bringing children here is really, really not good, because this world is very cruel. Thank you.